Hello friends, today we are going to cover Python user-defined functions. So today's topics are Python functions, different types of functions, different types of arguments, how to pass by reference, pass by value, what are the differences, what is recursive function and how to use that. It's all demo examples will be completed. Then Lambda functions. So we will cover all the topics and also will cover their demo. So in Python we have lots of built-in functions. So these functions perform predefined tasks which can be called upon in any program as per the requirements. If you don't find a suitable built-in function, then we can write our own user-defined function and can write set of commands there which needs to be executed multiple times whenever we are calling through a program. Right, so user-defined functions are the functions which has user-defined functions are having block of statements or block of code which is like reusable code, and that needs to perform a single related action, and that action needs to be called from the calling program. Right, functions we use for better modularity and better management and organizing the code. So sometimes our program grows longer and longer, and in that case suppose some code snippet or some statements we are writing again and again. So in that case we can write one Python user defined function wherein we can write multiple times same statements. In case we are using, then we can put in the function and can call the function. For example, suppose we are doing some calculation, right, and that calculation we can have in separate function, and function can be called multiple times from the main program. So this way we can have more managed way and organized way while writing the code. So let's see, let's look into the example, and through example it would be more clear. For example, this is def print me str. So here def is the way to define a function, print me is the name of function, str is the argument or parameter. So after that we have to write colon print str. So whatever we are passing in this function, that will be printed here by using command print str, and this is not returning any value. If function is not returning any value, then you can skip return command as well, but otherwise if it's return some value, say string or say number, in that case we have to use return command. So how to call this function? By using print me, within the bracket we have to write string. So this string will be passed here, and then this is also printing string. So this way this function will be called. This is the calling program or main program, and this is the function. So if you look at this diagram, then def function name colon, this is the way to define the function name. Here 2-3 statements which we have written, and how this function will be called from the main program. This is the main program wherein we are writing function name, and this is calling this function. So this way function can be called multiple times from the program. At multiple places in multiple programs we can call a function. So let's see how to create a function. Say I'm writing here def function name, here str, then column. So this is printing hello str. Now to call this function print me, suppose I'm passing here some name, so it will print hello Shilpa this way. So str is argument, print hello str. So it's not returning any value. So if in any case function is not returning value, you can skip return command. Otherwise you can write like this, return blank. So it will print return blank, and then print me Shilpa. Shilpa is passed into str, and this is printing hello Shilpa. Similarly, we can have some mathematical function execution through the function. So how we can do, like suppose I'm writing here def plus. So this is to add two numbers. So def plus a comma b, c equal a plus b. So this is to add two numbers, and now I want to check if this c sum is even or odd. So after if command, writing colon, if c percent 2 equal 0, in that case return even comma C, else otherwise it will print odd. So here I have written return statement, and then how to call this function, say plus, I'm writing here print sum of 2 comma 3 this way. So it's saying sum of 2 comma 3 is odd 5. If suppose I'm writing some even number, it will print even here this way. Next, coming to scope and lifetime of variable. Scope of variable is the area or portion wherein it's declared. For example, if suppose we are declaring a variable in function boundary, so its scope is till the function only. Once function complete, then its existence just finish, right? So this, for example, in this particular function def my function x equal 10, this is called as local variable within the function, and its existence is till this function only. So this is the local scope. So value inside function is 10, but outside function, like for example in the program, if x its value is declared as 20, so this is the scope of this variable x, and once we print value outside function, it will print 20 only, 20 here. So lifetime of variable is the area wherein it's declared, and lifetime of variable is like it's throughout which the variable exists in the memory, right? If variable is declared within the function, so its existence is the within the boundary of the function, it will just print the value which is in within the function. Outside function in the program, if we are declaring x separately, then value outside function would be the same value which is in the program. So let's look into the example for scope of variable. So I'm writing here def my function. Within this x equal 10, this is declared as within the function. Once I print this, it will print 10 here. Outside function declared x value of x as 20. Then here I am calling my function, then print value outside function. So you can see here value inside function is 10 and value outside function is 20, which is defined outside this function in the program. So let's look into a few more examples for pass by reference and pass by value. Then you will have more clarity. Pass by reference and pass by value, all the parameters or arguments in the Python language are treated as pass by reference. So it means if you change anything in the parameter, whether it's a function or outside function, it will reflect, changes will be reflected everywhere. So in pass by value, copy of the argument is passed to the function, and pass by reference means reference of the argument is passed to the function. So whatever changes done anywhere in case of pass by reference, that is reflected to other locations as well, right? Because this change goes into the into its address, its memory location. So let's look into this example, def change me my list. So this is my list. So in my list we have defined 10, 20, 30. Change me my list. So this is passing my list. This my list is as the reference, and my list dot append, when we use append, so this is changing or appending in reference value 1, 2, 3, 4. So value inside the function, it will give 10, 20, 30, then 1, 2, 3, 4. And once we print here, it would be same value because it has changed in the reference value. So let's look into this example in Jupyter notebook. So here I am writing def change me my list. So here appending this my list, so values inside the function is my list. Now here I am declaring my list outside function. So you can see here. So my list is 10, 20, 30, 40. This my list is passed here, then appended, and then values inside function is 10, 20, 30, 40, and after that it has appended 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, now once we call print values outside function my list, so same my list is printed here because it has changed into the reference value. Let's look into another example wherein we will have separate variable within the function and outside function, and let's see what is the difference in the output in that case. So let's copy this complete program here, and here instead of append I am writing here my list equal. So now this is altogether new variable, and it will treat it as a new variable, and then in that case its scope is within this function only. So you can see here values inside function is 1, 2, 3, 4. Values outside function is 10, 20, 30, 40. So hope this is clear. Pass by value, pass by reference. So let's look into different types of arguments. So what is positional argument? Positional argument is also called as required argument. Like for example, def, greet, name. So name is the required argument. So here we are printing hello name. So hello, if suppose in greet I am passing Rohit, it will print hello Rohit. Now this is compulsory to pass value here for this one parameter. So if we suppose if we skip this value, it will give error. And for example, if suppose there are two variables, two arguments here, so we have to pass value in both the arguments. So this is compulsory. So these types of arguments are called as positional arguments or required arguments. So which is necessary to pass in, within which this is necessary to pass value. So we can just try here def say greet. Suppose I am passing here two parameters, first name, last name. And suppose now for calling this particular function, I'm writing here greet. Then I have to write first name, last name both. Suppose I'm not writing here both the names, first name, last name, only one single parameter I have passed. In that case, it will show error this way. So otherwise it will run properly. Hello Reena Chuk. So these are the positional arguments and compulsory to give value here. So next is unknown number of arguments. What is unknown number of arguments? Suppose we need to pass any number of arguments, then in that case we have to just use star names, like star argument name, right? For example, I have written here def greet star names. So in names we can pass any number of arguments. In such type of scenarios we call such type of arguments as arbitrary arguments, right? Suppose here in greet I have passed three parameters, or maybe we can pass 4, 5, 6, any number of arguments. So how to print this? Print hello names 0, names 1, names 2, names 3, names 4. So any number of whatever number of arguments we passed from here, we can just write here to print those parameters. So let's look into this example in Jupyter Notebook. So I'm copying this example here, and let's give here star names. So this way we can pass any number of arguments by using 0, 1, 2, 3 as index numbers. This way. And here from here we can pass any number of arguments, like it will automatically take these number of arguments and can print here this way. So hello Reena Chug ABC. So XYZ, it's not printed here. If we print names 3, it will print next argument as well. And somehow if suppose we have used names 3 and just remove this one, it will give error. So at least if suppose we are giving name here, so that argument should be there. This way. Next is keyword arguments. Keyword arguments means wherein we have to use arguments with the key equal value. So in that case, order is not important. Like order does not matter. Order of arguments. For example, if in this function def my function child3 child2 child1, this is written here. So order is not important, otherwise we have to write child3 needs to be first parameter, child2 needs to be second, child1 needs to be third. So in this case, how we can just remove this ordering kind of thing? By passing child1 with this name equal Reena, child2 as Shobhit. So in that case, child1, wherever it is written, it will pass Reena to that. Through name, through key name, it's just mapping and just assigning the value. Similarly for child2 and child3. So this way, keyword arguments means we are having key equal value combination so that we can pass an arguments in any number of any order, within any order. So let's try this example in the same our greet example. Let's take this example and let's try with keyword arguments. So here first name last name, so we have to put first name last name. If suppose anyhow I'm just changing this sequence, chug then name, first name, in that case it will print in the same manner. For example, hello chug Reena, it has printed last name first and then first name. So how we can ensure that ordering is not important in this case? So we have to just write here key equal value so that it can recognize with the same name. First name equal Reena. So this way. So hence this way it's just recognizes with the key, recognizing with the key and then assigning accordingly the value. So next, coming to arbitrary keyword arguments. What is this arbitrary keyword arguments? If we are not aware of number of arguments, in that case use star star, star star person, right? So in this case order is not important, order of argument does not matter, name of the argument must be the same. So for example, def greet star star person, here I am printing hello person first name last name. So in this kind of scenario we can add another column, next column as well, next sorry key as well, a key value pair as well, and then we can use it in within the function. So if suppose we are using here two, first name and last name, but here passing only first name, in that case it will raise error. So in that case whatever keys we are using within the function, that should be passed from the calling function, that is required here. So let's look into this example in Jupyter Notebook, and then it would be more clear. Suppose I am using this same example. So def greet, here I am writing star star person, where in person parameters we are just defining here like person, then within the bracket first name, and here I want to write last name. So in that case last name and first name, this is very important. Now suppose I am writing here another parameter, say age. So it will still not print age, here I have to write here person, within bracket age needs to be here, then only it will be printing age, this way. And if suppose I am just writing same thing again with another details, but not writing age, in that case it will print error, because this is expecting all the parameters which have been used within the function. Now it's showing error, key error. If suppose I am just removing this person age, then it will execute properly. Next is default parameter value. Default parameter value means if we call the function without passing any argument, it uses the default value. For example, while declaring function def my function, I have written here country equal Norway. So Norway is the default value. Suppose if while calling I am not passing any value, it will automatically take country as Norway. If suppose I am passing my function Sweden, it will take Sweden. India, then it will take India. But in this case, if it is blank value, it will take its default value as Norway, and it will be passed here in the statement here. So these such type of parameters are called as default parameters. So next, coming to function with return value. So function with return value means def sum a comma b return a plus b. So a plus b is the returned value. So for example, if we are using total equals sum 10 comma 20, so it's passing 10 to a, 20 to b, and its sum is returned to total, right? So in total it's having sum of both the values. Similarly, total equals sum 5 comma sum 10 comma 20. So sum 10 comma 20 is returned here, then 5 and sum of 10 comma 20 will be returned to the total. So this way, this return is used to return the calculation, return the value to the calling statement. So next, coming to recursion, what does it mean by recursion? Recursion means if process which is defined in the way that it calls itself. Recursion function means if the function calls itself directly or indirectly is called as recursion function. So recursion means when function calls itself. So once we do looping, like we are just using while loop or for loop or nested loops, in that case we can use recursion, right? It's just looping through itself for the process, and then this is called as recursion. So let's look into example. By the example, it will be you will understand recursion function. So for example, this is one way, like for example, if we are passing 5 in k, so this particular function, what it is doing, 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. This way it is doing summation, right? So 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2. So it's iterating same function for next, for previous value, for previous value, for previous. In this way, it's adding all the values. For example, def try recursion k. Suppose I am passing 6 to k. So if 6 is greater than 0, the result is 6 plus try recursion 5. It will pass 5 now. So this control will go again to here and again execute it. Then again 5 is greater than 0, it will return 5 plus try recursion 4. This way it will call itself again. And if you look here, def try recursion k, if k is greater than 0, result equal k plus try recursion 4. It will call itself again with previous value, right, with -1 value. And this way till the end. Once k becomes 0, then it sends result as 0, and then at that return result. So this way, if we are passing 5, it will give 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So this is called as recursion when function calls itself. So let's look into this example in Jupyter Notebook. So let's look into recursion example. So def try recursion, in bracket I have written k. If k is greater than 0, in that case result k plus try recursion. So calling this function again by passing 1 k minus 1 value, else result equals 0. So at the end return result. So print recursion of 6. So I'm writing here try recursion 6 here. So this way it will call itself again and again, and then printing 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 equal 21. So another example we can do for factorial, which is very important example for recursive functions. So for example, we can write here def factorial is, suppose we have to find factorial of 3. So factorial of 3 is 3 into 2 into 1. Factorial of 4 is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. It means we have to just keep multiplying previous number and till 1, right? So how we can do that? So if you look into this example, even we can use same example here to find factorial. So copying same example and then changing its name as factorial, passing k as number. So in factorial, if 1 is coming, so for example, if k equal 1, in that case it returns, else we can return this one, else return k into factorial of k minus 1, this way. So if k is 1, then return k, else k into factorial recursion of k minus 1, so previous number. So how to find this factorial? So for example, factorial of 3 is 3 into 2, 6. It will print 3. Factorial of 3 is 6. Factorial of 4 is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So you can see here when I print factorial of 4, so 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 is 24. Similarly for 5, it will print 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, this way. So in this case again, fact recursion, this is calling same function again and again every time, and this is the best example for recursion functions. So now what are the advantages and disadvantages of recursion functions? Advantages are, in case of complicated function, we can split function into small subprograms and can utilize as a recursion. So for example, in nested loops, in nested loops we can have internal loop as a recursion function, or this way we can just divide function into small problems and can make multiple recursive functions. And another advantage is like we can make our function as simple by utilizing nested iterations or recursive functions, so it makes it more simple to understand, and also it renders the code looks very simple and effective. Disadvantages are recursive function takes lots of memory and take time to execute the function, and it makes it expensive to use. Recursive functions are also challenging to debug because within that iterations, multiple iterations goes on. In case of big programs, it's difficult to debug. And reasoning behind recursion can sometimes be tough to think through. But sometimes we have long logic and lots of logics are there, complexity is there. In that case, sometimes it's tough to think about. Sometimes we write the code, then later on we think about that we can write this part into recursion and other part into normal function. So this way we can think through later on once write the code, or maybe sometimes it's tricky to think about using recursion. Okay, so let's go to next topic, that is lambda function. Lambda function is small anonymous function which takes any number of arguments. And how do we write lambda function? So lambda, then arguments on the left hand side, colon, then expression. So in expression we can do some calculation or some print statement, and in lambda function it's not necessary to pass arguments. We can have 0 argument or more arguments, or instead of expression, some calculation, we can have some print statement as well. So let's look into some examples. So lambda function, like for example, square equal lambda x. X is the parameter or argument. Colon x into x is the expression. And once we how to pass this value of x here, when we call square bracket 5, it will call 5. It will pass 5 here, and 5 into 5 is 25. This way. Similarly, we can have in greet program lambda name. Name is the parameter here. Print hello name. So you can print hello name here. So this way also we can have a lambda function. Similarly, lambda with multiple parameters can be there, x plus y plus z, and it will print sum 5 comma 10 comma 15 parameters pass through this sum, and then it will print sum of all the numbers. So this way we can have a lambda function. So lambda function can be written in any function or anywhere. It's single statement expression, and we can write it anywhere. Right, so let's try these examples in Jupyter Notebook. For example, I can write here sum equal lambda a colon a plus 10. Suppose I have written like this, and while printing I have to write sum within that 5. So this way, so it's printing. And if suppose I need to I don't want to give any expression here, or any argument here, so greet equal lambda. So there is no parameter. Now I want to print something. So you can execute it without any parameter, without any argument. And you can also multiply two numbers if you want. Suppose I want to multiply all these numbers, so a into b into c. So this way we can have this expression x, within that we can have numbers this way. So why, if you see that we can use lambda and anywhere, and we can just do any expression, any multiplication or any kind of thing we can do through lambda. So suppose I want to write any number of arguments, as we tried in earlier as well. So in greet, suppose I want to write any number of arguments. In that case, you have to write here star names, and again you can print here same way, names 0, names 1, similarly names 2, this way. And here we can write here multiple names here, this way. So it will print, it will take any number of arguments. By using star, we can pass any number of arguments. We can use anonymous parameterless lambda function. How to use that? So we can write here lambda, say x colon x into x. And how to pass value here? So to pass value, we can write within the bracket, say some value. Then it will print square of 3 like this. And um, this way we can just create lambda function without any declaration to any name, right? And we can just directly pass value in the parameter and then printing it. Then um, I think now lambda functions are very much clear. Now there is one more thing which we can do, like we can use lambda functions within the normal function as well, and that would be helpful to understand how to use lambda in normal function and how to pass arguments there. So for example, suppose I have a general function. Here I am passing n. So within that, logic is return lambda a colon a into n. So if I am using my doubler, so what is happening here? So this 2 is passed to n and this becomes a into n. So how to pass this a value, right? So to pass this a value, we have to write here print my doubler. Say I am passing here 3. It will print 3 into 2. So this is in the same way. If you see, this is nothing different than my doubler equal this lambda a colon lambda a into n, right? So to pass any value to a is, we have to use my doubler, and then in the bracket we have to just pass that value, same way we used here, right? And so these are the lambda functions. Now if you see that overall, what is difference between lambda function and regular function? So lambda function can have only one expression, but in regular function we can have multiple expressions, multiple statements. Lambda function do not have any name associated with that, and lambda function called as anonymous function. But regular functions have name and signature properly, argument, everything is there. Lambda function does not contain any return statement because body itself automatically return value. But functions, normal regular functions, need to have return value, and it returns value, blank value or as well as some value. So this way we can this is the actual difference between regular and lambda functions. So today we covered different types of functions. They are how to use parameters in that, and then different types of parameters, and then lambda function, recursion. So all these things we have done, practical examples we have done. So hope all these topics are clear to you, and this video is helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching this video.